Today we're going to look at two packs that span 40 or 50 years worth of military use. On the left is the tried and true medium Alice pack on its metal frame, and on the right is the Molle II, and I'm going to call it Gen 1 rifleman's pack. And there's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of differences. Similarities: they hold roughly the same amount of capacity and weight. I'm going to say that the Molle II ruck will carry more as far as capacity goes. The medium Alice pack is one large main bag with a radio bag inside, and it has a, compared to this one over here, pretty small flap cover. It's got 3 pockets, and one thing I really like about them is it has the pass-throughs behind the pockets. It has quite a few fixtures for attaching other Alice type gear, and of course Molle gear will work on that. Now, similarly, the Molle II bag has one large sack, and it has an attachment inside. It has 4 little metal rings to put a detachable radio pouch, much like the Alice bag in there. I don't have that. It has a much larger flap, and they tried to copy to a degree the Alice flap. The Alice flap has this Velcroed, probably the first use of Velcro I ever saw, compartment inside that you could put stuff in. Not waterproof, but water repellent. They have the same thing. They have the same thing in the Molle, but it's much larger, and it's got this clear face on the inside. And the idea here is that you can put your map in there and look at it. Now, if you look at some of the writings, the first manual, it says that this lid is detachable. Well, it's not detachable on mine. It's sewn on. That would have been interesting if it had been detachable. That's something I've always thought would be a neat addition, is a detachable lid. Of course, I think that if you're going to do that, you might want to go ahead and put some stuff in there, have a pouch on there, but it is not detachable in the one I have. And this bag only has one large outer pouch. It's called a Claymore bag, versus the 3 outer pouches for the Alice. Interesting thing here, while this is a Molle II bag and it has Molle webbing on it, it also has some old Alice type webbing down here. You can see the similarity. I found that interesting. Now, to me, one of the flaws, and they fixed this in the next bag, is that the webbing over here on the sides of the Molle bag is specifically made for one thing, and that's the sustainment pouch. They changed that in the new bag where it's just webbing. I thought that was far too specific, and it limited. There's a lot of real estate here that they could have put Molle webbing on that would have taken all kind of stuff. And you can still kind of make it work, but it's not as easy to. All right, let's weigh these packs on their frames. This one's going to be 7.44 pounds today, and that's with the frame and all the harness, but empty. And here's the medium Alice, empty, but with its metal frame and a shelf, and it comes in at 6.79 pounds today. All right, even though we know what the book says the cubic inch capacity of each pack is, I thought for fun I would pull the contents out of my ready-to-go camping sets and see how they fit into each pack. And what we have here is basically everything I would need to go on a 2 or 3 day hiking, camping, walkabout extravaganza. Let's see how they work. Well, as I would expect, this pack had no problem getting all that in. I didn't pack it really carefully. Just kind of got it in there, and like I said, no problem doing it. It's full though. It's a full pack. One thing I do notice is these straps here could be longer. I'm a little disappointed, and also there's no positive stop for this strap from being pulled out, and I'm going to probably have to fix that. It took some serious finagling to get everything into the Alice pack, and let me say that there's a lot of things I could do to make this load work. For one thing, and all these packs are very adjustable, but I could have put some of the stuff on the outside. But what I wanted to do was put everything on the inside so as to give a good test to these two packs. So obviously there's a lot more internal room in this pack than the Alice pack. Now let's compare the frames of these two packs. Now, I'm not going to do a comparison of the suspension system, meaning the shoulder straps and waist belts of the two packs, because I will concede that the Molle II suspension system is hands and shoulders, arms and legs better than the old Alice system, even though they're heavier. But let's compare just the two frames, and let's swap the packs and see how they work on the other frames. Well, that's not going to work. You can see here that the Molle pack is much wider than the Alice frame, and therefore obviously much wider than the Alice pack, which explains right off the bat why it can hold so much more. Could you do a lot of manipulation and get this to work? Yeah, but I see no point in it. The more interesting thing would be to make the Alice pack fit onto the Molle frame, because then you get all this neat Molle suspension. But once again, we have a problem. One of the claims to fame for the Alice pack is this padded sleeve that the frame goes up into. It's wonderful because it's so simple. It made so much sense. No straps or anything like that. You only had two other points where you connected it to the frame. And that wonderful design is what makes it really hard to adapt the Alice pack to the Molle frame. Could I do it? Could I manipulate it? Yeah, put a bunch of straps and stuff, but I don't see the point. I don't see the point. But that's interesting because it shows right off how much wider the Molle pack is. And that means something to me because I'm really not into wide packs. So for me, that's one in the negative column for the Molle. Does it hold more stuff? Sure. But I'm not into wide packs. I like packs more narrow. And that's, I guess, one of the things that I love about the old Alice is it's a fairly narrow pack. And I think that's a good thing. While we have everything broken apart, let's do some more weight comparisons. All right, we're going to compare the weight of the packs alone. I'm seeing 2.62 pounds. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. 2 pounds, 2.36 pounds. So it is a little bit lighter. That's a whopping 4.81 pounds. Now let's do the same with the Alice pack and Alice suspension system. 4.31. Interesting, interesting. All right, well, we pretty much tore that apart, did a comparison. If there's any questions or anything that I didn't touch on, please let me know. And if there's anyone out there who's familiar with this Molle II Gen 1 pack, and you know what these two metal rings are for, let me know, because I cannot come up with anything, and I haven't found anything in the one manual that I found that will explain it. It may be The original frame that this was made to go with was this goofy pack frame that actually had a tail down here that locked in to a piece that went onto your Molle web gear belt. And I think people quickly in the field pointed out that that was just the stupidest idea ever. So they got rid of that frame, and for a while mated this pack and this frame up. So maybe it's something left over from that. I just don't know. But if you have any idea, let me know. All right. Thanks for struggling through this with me. Appreciate it.